Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, it's a big episode. It's race 26 of the regular season, which you guys know means the regular season finale, where we come in the last driver in the playoffs 15 points ahead of both Chris Buescher and Ty Gibbs. There's some explanation needed in this one, of course, because there's different plot lines that could develop that would put us out of the playoffs here tonight. Of course, if Buescher or Gibbs make up more than 15 points on us, we're out of the playoffs. If we see a new winner that's in the top 30 in the points, we're out of the playoffs. Ryan Preece right now comes into this race also 15 points above the 31st position with a win at Talladega. That puts him in the playoffs. If he falls out of the top 30 tonight, he's out of the playoffs. And then Buescher, Gibbs are racing to get in as well to the playoffs against myself too. So hopefully that makes some sense here now. But there's a lot on the line tonight. So the goal is pretty straightforward. And that's beat the 54, beat the 17. But on top of that, make sure we don't see a new winner, because that would knock us out of the playoffs no matter what. So it's going to be a bit of a stressful weekend here in Daytona, and we are going to have some live points updates in these stages here tonight, so you guys can have an idea of the situation that's going on around us. And you're going to see that in the playoffs as well, live points updates here. But I only ran one lap of practice. You guys know the drill. We're going to be slow as molasses when it comes to practice and qualifying. But I do qualifying just so we can see what the starting order is at these plate tracks. So I run one lap here in quali on Saturday afternoon. We cross the stripe, and we would be dead last, so expected. But let's see where the 17, the 54, 34th for Gibbs. That's what we like to see. Chris Buescher, however, up there almost inside the top 10 is Eric Jones is going to be on pole. That's an example of someone that could win their way into the playoffs and knock us out here tonight in Daytona. Now, the Xfinity Series was racing this weekend. We'll take a look at the finishing order. They were already at Darlington, where Matt Mills, I don't know how it happened, but Matt Mills has won himself into the playoffs. That knocks Ryan Vargas out, who should have easily pointed his way in, but there's been so many surprise winners in Xfinity. So Vargas currently out in a must-win scenario as we get ready to go racing Saturday night.
We're coming at you live from Daytona International Speedway for the regular season finale. Anything can happen at this track, guys, and it's set to be a spectacular race.
Anything can and will happen tonight, Rick. 3 drivers fighting for one playoff spot, and they could all be out if we see a new winner.
And the stats show that very well could happen, guys. We've seen 2 shock winners in both plate races this year.
Okay, Gary, do what you gotta do tonight. Put us in the playoffs and we'll have a done deal for next year.
Yeah, 10-4. Thanks for the hard work, team, all season long. Let's go get that final spot. Well, the goal is simple, like we said already. Beat the 54, beat the 17, and hope that there's not a new winner that's in the top 30 in the points. And you can see Chase Briscoe crashed during qualifying somehow. He's starting at the back along with his teammate of Almirola, who had to replace their transmission before the race. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gave up qualifying position for new tires here as we are ready to go green for the Coke Zero Sugar 400 here from Daytona. There you see that Andretti 98. You got Daniel Hemrick in the car for this race as the regular season finale is underway from Daytona International Speedway. We came here early on in the season. We saw Rick Ware Racing's Riley Herbst win the Daytona 500. Of course, that changed his career. He's been able to go full-time in the Cup Series this season. Obviously, it hasn't put them in the playoffs as they have fallen well outside of the top 30. One of the worst cars in the points standings, already 3 wide. Daniel Suarez on the far outside there in that 99 freeway insurance machine. A top 10 effort there for him and Watkins Glen. We also, saw the playoff complexion completely change in Watkins Glen, with Ty Gibbs having a huge accident on the exit of the S's, collecting Jimmy Johnson, who's in this race again tonight here in Daytona, and as well a few others getting into the 54, and that put Gibbs 15 points below the cut line. So a really awkward situation for him here. 8 laps in stage 1. I said we're going to be doing live points here at the end of the stages, but we're also going to have a Ryan Preece radar in his situation and how far above 30th place he is in the standings, because that's going to be crucial for this playoff battle as well here now. So if he falls out, so that's the thing. If there is a new winner tonight, but Preece falls out of the top 30 in the points, we can still get in. But if Preece stays in the top 30 and there's a new winner in the top 30 in the points, we're out no matter what we do. So it's a really going to be a situation that's changing lap by lap right now. Right now, Eric Jones is leading, so no matter what, we are out of the playoffs currently, no matter what we do. But you see Grant Enfinger in the 42 in front of us here, now replacing, of course, the suspended Noah Gregson here in that Legacy Motor Club Chevrolet as well. Going to be interesting to see what's going on with this team. They will be switching to Toyota in both real life as well as the game. John Hunter Nemechek is going to be behind the wheel of the 42 in real life and the in-game car for next season, I can confirm. The original plan was for Nemechek to go to the 67 for 2311 as Kurt Busch is retiring, but no longer the situation there, as obviously things with the 42 completely changed. Kurt Busch in a must-win scenario to get into the playoffs here in his final season of NASCAR Cup Series competition. Can he get to victory lane one more time? If he can't make it into the playoffs tonight, we'll have to wait and see. Already coming to the final lap here in stage number 1. It was Jones leading, but Harvick was actually on his inside. We've done a good job working our way forwards. We've been following Ty Gibbs. Now, as we start the final lap, there's Chris Buescher. So we're passing Buescher. We're 3 wide with Elliott and Chastain. Gibbs is in the top 10, so not exactly what we want to see here as we exit turn 2 side by side with Elliott. Got a big slipstream here from the 77 of Ty Dillon down this back straightaway. Right now we got a drafting partner with the 41, now switching over to the 17 of Buescher, but we drop back down to the inside into 3. We are just short of some stage points, but we have quite a run with that draft here from Ty Dillon as we come through 3 out of turn 4 down this run straightaway for the final time up the inside of the 12 and the 11 of Hamlin now, and that's going to put us into P10, I believe, right to the back of the 67 of Kurt Busch, right on his bumper across the stripe. P10, 1 point to our name here now. Ty Gibbs, P6. Harvick wins the stage over Jimmy Johnson. But Gibbs getting P6, myself getting P10, we get 1 point, Gibbs gets 5. We will end stage 1 11 points above the cut line, and Gibbs 11 points below. And Chris Buescher, his situation remains the same. He is going to be 11 points or 15 points out. Ryan Preece, he remains 15 points above the top 30 cut line as we're getting ready to go green for stage number 2. So far, we've given up 4 points on the night, and now stage 2 gets underway, and there it is. We have the glitch where when you're on the back of a car, when a caution comes out, the car doesn't go. And I recognize that very quickly, and I pull over to the left. I could stay in front of everybody, but that would be, in my opinion, just, even though it's a video game, unsportsmanlike and really silly. So I pull out of the way for as long as I can. We at least stay in the top 30, it looks like, here now as we continue. The 98 of Hemrick in the Andretti machine going by on the outside. Christopher Bell as well. Here comes Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman. You might notice, by the way, just random little add-in, some crackling in my mic or popping in my mic. I still don't know what's going on, so it's not my mic that's the issue. It's my software, which is Adobe Premiere Pro, because I go into Streamlabs and I'll record audio and there will not be a single mic issue, but only in Adobe Premiere Pro I get these little mic crackling things, and I'm not quite sure what's causing it, but I am trying to narrow it down, but I'm having barely any luck, really no luck at all, actually, but I'm going to continue to look and research and see what the heck's going on there, because I've never had this issue before, until actually I think I switched to my new PC, which is weird, but yeah, I'm going to definitely look into it and see what we can do, but rallying our way back forward, getting a little bit more aggressive after having that glitch, so some work to do here in this regular season finale. Of course, the question is, where is Ty Gibbs? Where is the 17? I see Ty Gibbs from here. He's right there in front of the 41, and there he is now, looking to the inside of Preece, but the caution is going to come out here early on in stage number 2. Everybody can make it on field to the end of the stage, so nobody's going to bother coming into the pit lane here. So we're going to be P17 for the restart. We're going to be lining up, actually, right behind that 54 of Ty Gibbs. Right now, leading the race, it's still Kevin Harvick, who's course, in control. Ty Dillon in second. Now, Ty Dillon wins today. I don't think that matters. He's outside of the top 30 in the points as we're going to get ready to roll here for the restart. Now we're back underway, so it's already well under 10 laps to go here in stage 2. Just a handful of laps. In reality, 5 laps of racing in this second stage remain, and we're going to be 3 wide right off the bat here with the 41 Aprice getting aggressive on the Mid-Ohio winner of Michael McDowell, and we're going to be very interested to see what McDowell is going to be able to do in the playoffs, I think, because that team seems to be getting better. You guys let me know down below right now, how do you think that 34 is going to do in the NASCAR Heat 5 playoffs? There is one road course, of course, with the Charlotte Roval on the way. There is some rumors that Canada will be on the schedule, not only in real life, but in Heat 5 next season. So that will give us, I think, what is it, 7, 8 road courses potentially that we're looking at on the calendar? Actually, it won't be any more than this season now that I think of it, because we already know the Indianapolis road course is going to be gone starting next season here now, and it looks like Canada will be the replacement. So I might have a home race next season. That's going to be very exciting here now at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in the game. In real life, the talks are Montreal, but it seems like, just from what I'm hearing for the real life schedule, it almost seems like those talks with Canada might be stalling a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully not, because I would love to be able to go to a NASCAR Cup Series race in Canada. Stage 2 ends before we could get in the top 10. A caution comes out, and I believe the 54 got stage points again. We'll take a look here now. I was briefly just trying to see who maybe brought out the caution. Kyle Busch, by the way, out of the race. He was that last yellow, it looks like. But Ty Gibbs, P5, 6 points to his name. Busher, no points. Again, we get no stage points, so that means we're going to enter stage number 3. By the way, Ryan Preece with 3 points. But that means that Busher will start the final stage still 15 points behind, or 16 points below the cut line, and Ty Gibbs is now only 5 points below. So we are 5 points above the cut line for the final playoff spot as this third and final stage officially gets underway. 17 laps of racing. We've only lost points here tonight, but we're still in, and the goal is simple: beat the 54 and the 17. Ryan Preece is 18 points above the top 30. You can see that was a terrible restart, but 18 points above the top 30 cut line is Ryan Preece to start the third and final stage. So things are looking pretty good for him, which tells me, you know, right off the bat that we're focused in on beating that 54 and the 17 at all costs here now, and as well making sure there's no new winners. So with the current situation that we find ourselves in, of course, where we're only 5 points above the cut line, and if we don't get a new winner, we're trying really hard to not only beat those 2 cars that we're battling, but as well to make sure that we hold back some drivers that might have an opportunity to win their way in tonight. But the only way we're going to do that is by being up at the front here in the mix. So we're trying to find a way forward here in these final 16 laps of racing. Hamlin, Logano, 2 winless drivers. We've talked about it all regular season. Hamlin, Logano, Larson, drivers that we're used to having multiple wins in the regular season are all winless. It's been a sensational storyline arc for those 3 drivers. They will all be in the playoffs, but they're not going to have a lot of playoff points, obviously. So they are going to have to either turn it up or, you know, say see you later to the playoffs very quickly. We'll have to wait and see how the 11, the 22, and the 5 end up there. As we continue down this back straightaway, I kind of lost some drafting help right here, and you can see the 3 and the 22 going past me on the outside. The 21 of Harrison Burton joining the party as well. Burton, of course, going to the 10 SHR machine next season in place of Almirola, as they will do that in swap, where Almirola will go over to the 21, and basically he's going to finish his career there. 14 to go. Harvick currently out in front of this race. He has been very strong tonight, running up front all race long, but we have entered the top 10 up the inside of Hamlin, making it 3 wide with him in the Napa Auto Parts machine of Chase Elliott, and there is the 54 of Ty Gibbs. In this very moment, we're 4 points above the cut line, but if we make this move to the inside side, draft the number 54, we're going to be in pretty good shape here now, trying to get some drafting help from his teammate of Hamlin. That would come. We passed the 54 of Gibbs, and now everything is in a safe position. We are currently, no matter what, right now, in the playoffs, and we just continue using the inside, and we get all the way up into 4th place here behind Ryan Preece. who would love to get his second win of the season. Of course, only 2 of the SHR cars in the playoffs, the 41 because of the Talladega win. Harvick's got 2 wins on the season in his final send-off here in Daytona as we go up the inside of the 41. Caught him lacking 2 SHR cars, 2 Cold Lake cars in this top 4. Pat Camlin a little bit further back there in 5th place. We continue on now, hoping that we can maybe get to that first position, but it is hard to pass for the lead here in Daytona, and I think you're going to see that represented here at some point now as I'm trying to get closer to the 13 of Chandler Smith, but it would be help from the 41 of Priest that would allow me to kind of get up into the mix here. And you can see now a big run on the back of him. Actually decided to take it to the outside, see what we can do. Side draft him a little bit through 3. It didn't quite work out, so we have to wait here patiently and down the back straightaway on lap 32, a big push to the back of this 13, and then I would actually pull out a line into turn 3 and go for it here. Today, the goal is to just make sure we get in the playoffs. Colleague doesn't really have an issue with me going for an overtake on a teammate like that at a plate race. And I can confirm, after this episode starting the playoffs, we are going to have contracts confirmed finally. Now, as you can see, I thought the 38 was going to help me, but he actually goes to my right side. Todd Gilliland, who's trying to get into the playoffs. Eric Jones is here trying to get into the playoffs. So there is some concerns here with who is around us, but we hang on to 3rd once again. A run down the backstretch, but hold on, Jimmy Johnson crashes down the back straightaway. It's going to be a big pile up here, multiple cars involved as well. There you see several cars running into him. The 12 gets a lot of front end damage. A late yellow strikes in Daytona, forcing everybody into the pit lane. I am taking no tires and half a can of fuel, playing it very, very cautious to hopefully make sure I'm up front, and there we go. P3, we will line up row 2 on the inside behind that Busch machine of Kevin Harvick. His final Daytona start. Could he get the victory? We're back underway with 5 laps remaining in this regular season. We are in a fantastic position to solidify our spot as the final driver in the 16-driver playoff grid. Thank goodness almost half the grid makes the playoffs, because we would be nowhere close, of course, if it was, the old format with 12 drivers, or even further back with 10 drivers. But I do feel like in this day and age, 16 drivers in the playoffs is pretty fair. I mean, you look at other sports, where we have 30 or so teams and 16 still get in the playoffs, 8 and 8 of course from the conferences. So I think 16 is a fine number when you have 40 competitors usually, well, 36 usually, but nonetheless we continue on, and now the kind of situation for me was a bit different. Instead of going for the win, we're of course going to go for the win if we have an opportunity, and here was the opportunity right here. Breaking the ankles, I should say, deking them out hockey style up the inside of Kevin Harvick, and we got help from Todd Gilliland on the exit of turn 2. He's going to push us to the lead here in Daytona, coming to the final 3 laps of this race, but our connection would break up in 3, and that would allow Harvick to fight back to the outside. He's got the 13 behind him. I've got the 38 behind me. My situation was now more of, okay, we're going to try and beat this 4, but what's more important is to make sure a car that's in a must-win situation doesn't get past me and get an opportunity to win this race. So blocking the guys that have to win was more important to me, of course, than allowing myself to go beat Harvick. So here we are with another run. After help from Joey Logano, he gets stalled out. He's battling with our teammate of Chandler Smith, but we come to the final 2 laps of this race, and now it's looking pretty good. Chris Buescher has joined the party. He obviously has to win to make this playoffs, but he jumps up to the outside as the final lap is underway here in Daytona. It's looking like a guaranteed playoff spot at this point as the white flag is officially out. As we head down into turn 1, Harvick looking for his 3rd win of the season, and it's all come in the last half of the regular season. You remember, he picked up that first win at Kentucky, and it's just been a bit of a hot streak lately now as we jump up the outside. Logano pulls out of line. He wants to get 5 playoff points in a win. We're not going to win this race. We just never had the speed to go up there and pass the 4 of Harvick, so I was not surprised by a move like this from Logano. We get back in line through 3 and 4, but it's all good for us. Kevin Harvick leads the way on this final lap out of turn 4 in this Coke 0400. Harvick, Logano, myself, your top 3. No one around us to put pressure on. We will make the playoffs. The final spot as Harvick wins his 3rd race of his final season of NASCAR Cup Series competition, and we are officially in. All the bubble drivers, myself, Buescher, Gibbs, end up in the top 10. We all did what we needed to do. I just did, of course, a little bit better than those guys tonight, aside from stage 1 and 2. I haven't seen this cutscene in a while. You made the playoffs. We love to see it. We will take a look at how many messages I got. Austin Dillon let me know like 3 times that he was happy that I made the playoffs. But there you see the Xfinity standings, but of course the main thing, the playoff grid for the Cup Series. Now, how far are we going to make it in the playoffs? I don't know. I've asked you guys to let me know in the comments opinions on things already in this episode, but give me your thoughts. How far are we going? It is really tight. And we are 2 points below the cut line. Logano as well. Priest, McDowell, Larson, they're all tied. Larson the first one in. McDowell and Priest right there on the outside looking in. It is going to be a fun playoff run, and I can't wait to start it in the next episode. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you guys in the next one as we start our rookie playoff campaign. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everybody.